Hey guys, so today's video is going to be a review on the NARS Sheer Glow Foundation. I know that a lot of people have either tried this or want to try it, so I figured I would give you my full thoughts on it as this has been basically the only foundation I've been using for the past like 2 weeks or so, like since I got it. So I think I've come to my conclusions about it and I can share those with you. So if you want to learn about those, then just keep watching. Okay, so let's start with the basics. The NARS Sheer Glow Foundation is a 1 fluid ounce. It is $44 in places you can buy NARS. I'm assuming that's like Nordstrom and Sephora. I don't really know where. I bought it at Sephora, but I know you can get it at like department stores too. So it's $44, 1 fluid ounce, which is like a standard amount of foundation for any foundation. And what else? There are 17 color selections for the NARS Sheer Glow range. Most of them are lighter. They do have a mix of like yellow and pink undertones. They have like a whole lot of different undertone selections, but not too many for dark skin tones, which kind of sucks. On Sephora's website, it says that the NARS Sheer Glow Foundation is a glowing satin finish foundation with sheer and buildable coverage. I think right when you first put it on, it is a satin finish. It's not completely matte, but there's definitely not a noticeable glow. Like, it's not as dewy looking as, say, like even like the L'Oreal True Match. When you first put it on, it kind of looks very slick and glowing, and then you put powder over it and it obviously isn't anymore. But this, it kind of goes on and looks pretty matte. Not matte, but it looks satin. It doesn't really have like a noticeable glow right when you put it on, but throughout the day the glow definitely comes through. Like, it definitely picks up those natural oils in your skin, even when you powder it, because you have to powder this foundation, absolutely. And it kind of comes through later on in the day. Right when you first put it on, you're like, wow, this isn't really much of a glow at all. But then throughout the day, you're like, damn, I'm pretty greasy. But it's a weird greasy, because at first when I saw myself, I was like, oh crap, like I need to powder. But then I looked at myself again and I was like, I kind of don't want to powder. I kind of like the way this looks. Like, it's glowing. It's very glowing, but it's like a nice glow. Like, you don't feel like you're super greasy. You just feel like, damn, I might as well be pregnant because I am glowing. So I really like that about it. The things I don't like about it is that it's not very long wearing, and this might be because I always choose a long wearing foundation. Like, I always either use like my Revlon Color Stay, my CoverGirl Outlast, my True Match is pretty, I mean, it's not long wearing, but it's not short wearing either. It's a pretty good foundation. And I don't know if this, because it doesn't claim to be long wearing, is the reason that it's not, like if all other foundations are like that, but I just find myself having to, like, I always need a powder when I wear this outside. Like, if I don't have a powder with me, it's gonna be a disaster. I'm gonna come home looking a mess, because it's definitely a foundation you need to touch up. Like, definitely bring some oil blotting sheets, definitely bring a blotting powder or just like a powder foundation to touch it up later on through the day, because this stuff does slide around. It does get just a little splotchy. Like, I don't know what's wrong with it. I don't know if I was like using too much primer with it or what, or I just feel like it takes a lot of work to keep it looking the way it looks when you first put it on throughout the day. Like, I understand, like, I like the glow that comes through, but I also don't like that sometimes there's, like, if I touch my face, like, it comes right off on my hand, and I'm, like, a really big face toucher. That's probably why I'm breaking out like a bitch. But I don't, like, most of my other foundations do wear off a little, because I do touch my face a lot, but this one, it's like, I touch my face less, and it still is sliding around more. I don't know, like, I love the foundation. I love the way it makes my skin look. I love the coverage. I love the, like, everything about it except for the longevity. Like, it's a very like tedious foundation. Like, you have to really cater to it. And for $44, I don't think it should be that way. Although I'm obviously going to use it up and I'm going to love every second of it, because I do really like it. It's just like, it shouldn't take that much work to have to keep it looking nice. Like, come on, like, my Revlon Color Stay is like $10, and it really, I put it on and I forget about it for the rest of the day. Like, this is like 2-3 hours in and you're like, damn, I need to touch up. which isn't good. Like 2 or 3 hours is like nothing to me. Like 2 or 3 hours is like me putting on my makeup and getting to school. That's like 2 hours right there. All that said, I do actually really like it. Like, I know I just rambled on and on about the bad part of it, but I do really like it. I think it gives great coverage. Like, it says sheer to buildable, but it's definitely not sheer at any point. Like, it starts off as a medium coverage and then is buildable to full. I don't think it's sheer at all, but for a $44 foundation, I don't think it should be sheer. If you're paying $44 for a foundation, I think it should cover what you want to cover. So that's something that I do like about it, because I wouldn't want it to be sheer. And now going into how I like to apply it, my favorite method of application is a damp beauty blender, which is my usual favorite method of application for most foundations. I did also try applying it with my Expert Face Brush, which is my other favorite way to apply foundation, and I did like it. It did go on really well. I just think it went on better with the beauty blender. And before I put it on, I also prime with the Benefit Professional, and I've learned that you only need a very tiny amount of this, especially with the NARS Sheer Glow. You only need a small amount of this because it will make your foundation slide around if you use more than you need. And I mean, this stuff is very slick, like it's very smooth, so a little amount will spread across your face. It's very blendable, so it won't be a problem like trying to get it evenly around your face. And also just keep it mainly in the T-zone, because that's where you're going to need it the most, because that is where you're going to get oiliest, right? And then also after I put it on, I've really been loving using the CoverGirl and Olay Under Eye Concealer for under my eyes with the Beauty Blender as well. And then I've also been using, on blemishes, because I've been breaking out so bad, I've been using the Time Balm Concealer from The Balm. And I put that on with a concealer brush and then blend it out with my Beauty Blender. And after all of that is done, I've been using my Ben Nye powder to set it. And I like this because it's loose, it's very like finely milled, so it goes on really smooth, and it doesn't complete, like it sets it and it mattes it out for the moment, but it's not completely matte like say the Stay Matte powder that can make it look a little bit cakey. This just goes on really well, especially with the damp beauty blender. It just like melts into the skin and hardly even looks like powder anymore. And once everything is on, I like to lock it in with the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. I would use the De-Slick setting spray, but I mean, I like the glowy finish, so I wouldn't want to like take away from that. So I use All Nighter. I would not use MAC Fix Plus, because you will be a freaking like disco ball of glow and grease if you use that. It's just too dewy of a finish. Like, the foundation in itself is dewy enough. If you use the Fix Plus, it'll be just way too much. Oh, I also forgot to mention like the consistency of it. You would think that it being a dewy finish, it would be like really liquidy and smooth, but it's actually pretty thick of a consistency. Like, it doesn't, you definitely need to like bang it out, not bang it out, but like it takes a little effort to get it out of the jar, and they do sell a separate pump for it, but I mean, I don't really feel like spending the extra money for that, because YOLO, you know? Overall, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would probably give the NARS Sheer Glow a 7 or 8, just because I do really like it. I like the coverage, I like the finish, I like everything about it except for the longevity, because I don't think that something this expensive should take so much work to keep it the way you want it to look. I feel like it should have more of kind of a sticking power to your skin. Like, it shouldn't move around as much, and maybe that's me asking for too much, because it is like a dewy finish and those tend to be more slick, but that's just my thoughts. So I guess that wraps up my thoughts on the NARS Sheer Glow. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up. Leave me comments down below letting me know what you think of this foundation if you ever tried it. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys!